All right, Gordo, it is the first match of the North American
I'm muted there.
Strikers
Thank you
League.
very much to everybody there, K-Bot, as I got to remember to unmute my Discord before I can get onto the broadcast here today. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us here for our inaugural day of the North American Strikers League Season 2. And thank you very much to Saya for pulling double duty today, joining me over here on the broadcast for game number 1.
Yeah, always a pleasure, especially when the series is this crazy. It's Winterfall versus Core Overflow, and these are two teams that are starting off pretty hot right out of the gate. I think they have the players, they have to build up a little bit of synergy since both these are sort of new-ish rosters with certain players that aren't, but they're definitely veterans on both squads.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Core Overflow coming in is a little bit of a. Is it too young to say super team? But coming in with some great members from the Eastern Conference who had some fantastic finishes in season number 1. It is, of course, bringing in that core of Core Overflow of Elo Heaven and Streak, and then bringing in Leo Leon, who had such a fantastic run with Light in our playoffs run.
Yeah, and we'll see how they slot in, but I think a lot of people consider Lilian to be one of, if not the best brawler at the moment, and it is on a star-studded team of Core Overflow, so definitely I guess, the only way for Core Overflow to go right now is up.
Yeah, definitely. They got to be a little disappointed. They came in as first seed in the first playoffs, but ended up dropping a couple of series and finishing fourth overall. Certainly not the end that they were hoping for, given how dominant they had been in the regular season. And then over on the other side, right, Winter coming in with Daftgrass and Miskik, some veterans from the Comeback Kings roster that didn't even make playoffs over in that Eastern Conference, and bringing up a rookie as well in the form of Luke. Gonna be a really fun time seeing them take to the stage here for game number 1.
Yeah, it's such a big question mark, right? Luke being that rank 1 player who hit rank 1 on the ladder, but so far hasn't really shown those peaks in tournament, especially because I think the biggest question surrounding Luke is that character pool. If the Dubu is taken off the table, his other goalies have not looked as good, but he just has the raw mechanical skill to make it happen. We'll just see how he does in this first week.
Yeah, definitely hearing a lot of hype up about this guy's mechanics and what he's been able to get done. Was able to make a winner's side run through liftoff, so certainly looking very good in that tournament. Now going to be playing up against another liftoff team here in Core Overflow. Maybe a bit of a surprise given that pedigree that these players come in with, but qualifying off of that loser's side did finally end up making it in, though, taking down a couple of former NASL teams along the way, and now going to be competing here on the same even ground as everybody else. They're going to be in the same round robins. They got the same shot as playoffs as anybody else. So clean slate coming into season 2 for both of these squads to see if Core Overflow can go back to their North American Strikers League dominance, or if it might be a little bit of a new era for Daftgrass and the squad, given how Comeback Kings performed in season number 1.
Yeah, I think we lost your video feed, Gordo, but
All
yeah,
right. Well, we'll
we'll
see
see
what
what
can be done
happens.
about that. I mean,
Yeah, but definitely we'll see how they play. But I think an important point is, I guess, the modes these teams can play. Right, Luke is, I guess, mostly seen on the Dubu, mostly on the Kai if it is banned, and I think that's very restricting, especially in this current meta, compositionally, because you see the meta right now. You see the awakening picks, everyone getting their best in slot, no matter how many denials there are, and just there's so much damage. And if you pick Dubu or Kai into it on bad drafts, it's not gonna look good for the life of your team.
yeah, no, it really is not. You really do need to make sure that you come out prepared, you come out with the right characters for the right map. And I'm back, baby. We got it. We got it resolved. Thank you very much, Saya. Yeah, gotta get that OBS refresh in there sometimes just to make sure you're actually gonna be able to end up with a video feed coming in from the old Video Ninja.
Yep, and it looks like we should be heading into game any second now. And NASL is now best of threes. We're no longer running two separate leagues, the
Thank
double the
you.
work, all best of two for time. But we're going into the first match of the second season of the North American Strikers League, best of three this time. They're actual winners, not just ties, not just 2 zeros or 1 1s. And we're heading right in, Gordo.
Yeah, real happy about the format upgrade we got going on there. We're going to be on Imy's app for game number 1. Is going to be Winter coming in on the left side, going to be Core Overflow on the red. Let's see what the selections are going to end up being here for our very first game of the new season. Really want to see what the newbie's going to be on in the form of Luke here. He's hovering that Dubu right off the bat. That's been the pick that everybody's been talking about. Will it get banned away? Yes, it will.
Yeah, and that's the expected ban, right? If you're playing against Luke, that is the link that you have to target. Not necessarily the weak one, though. Like, his mechanical prowess cannot be understated, as both teams will opt to mirror the Rasmus here.
Yep, going for that Kai as well. And yeah, it does look like Mystic's going to be locking in his Rasmus while he's at it. And Imy coming on through there for the side of Core Overflow. Going to be looking to take that one into the goal here for Streak. Got a really, really well-established goalie here in the North American Strikers League. Pulling out one of those more mechanical characters in their first matchup up against Luke here.
Yeah, and both goalies are orbiting as 1-2 punches the awakening of choice, which just makes the game so deadly with these Juliets on the center. And although Rasmus may be the character that everyone fears, you got to remember that Juliet is also an S-tier character here.
Yeah, no, it's just, they're both going to be real obnoxious around this center point. You just got to have your wits about you at all times, or you are at risk of getting taken right off of the map here. That's going to be Leo stepping forward here, and that's going to be Treddy. I believe that is still Elo Heaven. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Nope.
And is coming on up, going to be knocking on through that first goal barrier. And now here it comes Mystic, trying to receive on the bottom side. Pendulum swing to try to clear it on out. But the pressure is mounting here for Core Overflow, as Streak is all the way here on the other side of the field and is going to be able to force it through for goal number 1.
Yeah, not quite Elo Heaven. A bit of a substitute in Treddy, the original Adrenaline Rush Imy player from Beta, and they're looking to fill that gap quite well, fill those large shoes, as Treddy is responsible for the last bit of pressure on that goal.
Yeah, all right, so Treddy coming on in here on the Rasmus, making a little bit of a last-minute change to what we were expecting to see, and that's going to be a little bit of a change-up here. See how they're going to be able to execute on that from the Core Overflow side, but doesn't look like it is going to be making too much of a difference. So stepping forward, Daftgrass emotes pass. Not sure if he intends that or not, but is going to be able to take out a big KO there regardless, and now looking to pass back on up to Mystic. Streak going to be able to clear that out, but Luke ready to receive, and now with core flips available for both sides, yeah, they're just going to smoke that right in.
Yeah, and Imy goalie Streak piloting it so well, so able to deflect so much pressure with that firewall sentry with the glitch box, but in the end that core flips too fast, the hitbox of the tiny cat a little too small, and it is evened all up.
Another flip comes through from Mystic. Doesn't quite find the core, but does knock some of the foes away from him. And now, oh, a little bounce shot there. Just sneaks right past Streak. Wasn't quite ready for it. Didn't expect the angle. And that's a goal scored by Luke.
What a Giga Blast. What awareness to just throw that out. Keep the pressure up on Streak. And those kinds of goals are what you want if you're going to defeat Core Overflow.
You absolutely do. And that's going to give them an early lead here, 2-1. Looking to claim the first set. Mystic stepping up with the Whiplash. Streak still playing defense. The Giga Blast comes out, and they do manage to open up that goal ready and early. Luke ready to clear back out once again. Mystic playing up on the top side up against Leo. Core flip comes out, is going to be able to come through here and open up the goal, but Mystic is there with the assist to keep it cleared out on the defense. Now Treddy receiving on the top side. Leo gets a ton of damage into Mystic and is going to keep him low. They're just trying to buy a little bit of additional time now. There's that swipe forward to keep the damage onto Mystic. Leo with almost an opportunity to score, but he does manage to clear it back out to Streak.
Yeah, and we're noticing a bit of a lack of that Rasmus KO pressure. A lot of dash punches, to be sure, but both teams very adept at avoiding the hook.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch maybe not giving that much extra power to the Rasmus, but they do manage to sneak in the goal anyway, and Mystic says, hey, I can't get the KOs, but I can get the goals. That's going to be set number 1 for the side of Winter.
Yeah, Winterfall taking it, and some interesting picks here. The Druid will probably opt for either the Primetime or the stacks on stacks here. That additional speed, so useful. Instead goes for a prize fighter. Those dash punches have been coming in huge. Definitely understandable. But Gordo, I'm looking at whoever picks up that Primetime, and it is Luke. It falls to Luke as the Orb Ponder is not denied on the Replicator start, and Streak is going to become a monster with those turrets.
Yeah, those are going to start to get up quite often, and that can start to become a big issue. I want to know the Deadeye there, picked up by Erasmus as well, is going to give you just some ridiculous KO power. I mean, you could start to land that from so far away, and the damage that comes through is just ridiculous. So be on the lookout for Mystic to try to make some stuff happen there with that extra little bit of oomph coming in from the death touches. He's going to be taking it on towards the bottom side. Daftgrass keeping it in his hands, and nice save there by Leo on what very nearly could have been an early goal barrier, but there's the first KO. There's the death touch right into the center.
Yeah, but if Streak and Leo Leon can hold, this is what Core Overflow wants, right? Long rounds are exactly what they need to start stacking up those orbs. Streak already at 2 stacks, I believe. Leo Leon with the KO, and they're rushing in Streak with the Cyber Swipe, gets the barrier, deflects the Core with the Glitch Pop, and now has the flip to press up, has the pass to Leo Leon as Luke gets zoned out completely.
Oh, and they get it past the goalie as well. Luke and Mystic both too far up, as you said, zoned away, and Treddy can just knock it in. A trivial matter at that point. They score the first goal of set number 2.
First goal, and now it is looking a little good for Core Overflow, right? They got the goal, they got the long round for the orbs, and that orb scaling with the replicator will just completely start to overwhelm unless Daftgrass can get a crucial KO like that.
Yeah, huge play there by Daftgrass, going to net that numbers advantage over to the side of Winterfall, and the core flip from Mystic down for the pass. Daftgrass keeping the pressure on, but Streak does manage to clear it out with that Cyber Sentry, and now is going to keep on buying time for the respawn, but that's another KO earned by Daftgrass. Leo, though, responds in turn, takes Mystic off the map, and now playing in a 2v2 situation between these two Juliets. Leo can't quite get it past Luke, though, and he's just going to keep on clearing out, gets the clear towards the bottom. Treddy back on the map, though, goes elusive to avoid a follow-up KO, and Daftgrass with no backup, probably not going to be able to sneak it past Sneak and Treddy here.
Yeah, but good proactive pro by Luke, pushing up to the midfield, but Leo Leon is better with the dash, has the flip as well, sends it up, and that is a lightning fast goal for Core Overflow in an otherwise almost overtime round.
Very nicely played there, and on 6 stacks for Streak in that stacking CDR. Going to be so valuable once he gets up to 10, and he's plenty close to making it there. Already up 2-0 in the set, though. Might not end up even being needed to tie things on up, as now being sent on down. Luke just trying to keep the pressure on, but look at how much damage has come through on a Daftgrass. He's already shattered and is going to have to play now and wait for that stagger to come back on up. Meanwhile, though, full control taken by Leo, smacks it in a 3-0 set. A huge comeback round for Core Overflow.
Yeah, and you can't say that draft was bad for them. They picked up the Monumentalist, they picked up the Orb Ponderer on the Replicator, and now Streak is first pick, has the pick of the litter, can pick the Hotshot, can pick the Glass Cannon, can even pick the Heavy Impact here, could even go for some Energy Awakenings as well, but we'll actually just wait, leave the pick up to the Juliet here, go for something a little bit later, and finally lands on the Glass Cannon.
Yeah, are going to end up with their selection of choice, and that big fish as well coming through for Luke here, going to give him that little bit of extra reach to be able to catch on to these, but those energy enhancements coming through onto the Juliets also such a big deal. If you can manage to get more of those flips out, gives you that little bit of extra KO power, that little bit of extra control over the core. And Leo immediately finding themselves an extra KO. Giga Blast off the top side from Luke to keep it cleared out, but they need to buy some time to get Mystic back onto this map, and Leo's not willing to give it to him. Flame Flurry coming forward, looking for one more punch, and Treddy is there to knock it in.
Yeah, and this play from Core Overflow is starting to overwhelm the team of Winterfall. They're playing a little bit for picks. Daftgrass has that 1-2 punch to Heavy Impact and the Prize Fighter trying to go for KOs, but Leo Leon is the one that looks to be finding more of them here, and along with more Utility Awakenings is just able to put much more pressure up. Look at the energy buildup from the Catalyst.
Huge play there off that energy, and now Streak coming on towards the bottom side, passing it down to Leo. Treddy up to receive on the top side, goes forward, knocking on in. Leo and Treddy are unstoppable as a duo. They move forward once again and find themselves a good goal.
Yeah, great goal for the two of them, and Streak has meter. Luke is still working on it, but again, the orbs. Have they fully stacked up yet, Gordo?
Let's take a look here. 9, so not quite there yet, but Streak is going to be fully online here before too long, but really just taking matters into his own hands. That last orb is going to be the one that does it and can just keep on the pressure. Leo and Treddy, though, have done such a good job, even as a duo, that once Streak can get involved even more, it's going to become a massive problem. There's the Flying Phoenix forward from Leo to open things up, and now Streak just keeps on passing it up. A huge KO is found, but the core flip might be enough from Leo. Core flips back, fourth and center from every single member. Streak even gets in on the action and finds a little KO off the glitch pop, but now knocked down to Leo, looking to receive, wants to take it forward, knocked back away by Mystic. Flame Flurry off the top, looking for the goal, but can't find it. Treddy back on the map, though, to keep on with the assists, and these sentry turrets are just gonna keep on coming.
Yeah, and Daftgrass's prize fighter stacks are not looking really built up here, getting KO'd too often. Core Overflow coordinating the damage very well. Mystic deflecting it away from the hook. And overall, the Winterfall defense has been solid so far, but they haven't been able to mount some real offense. Maybe they can do so with the KO.
Another big death touch there from Mystic to take out another member, but Treddy's still keeping it cleared out, and the Sentry is going to do plenty of work in that department as well. Streak stepping forward, but too far away from the goal now. Control taken back by Daftgrass, and they get their first goal in a while.
Great capitalization by Winterfall. That was their window. They need to get it, and they get it just as Leo Leon responds. Perfect window of opportunity, but still 2 goals for Core Overflow. They can end this set right here.
Definitely can, and that would take them up into set point to be able to take game number 1. Definitely what they want for themselves. It would be a dominant showing here for Core Overflow to start things off and have a regular season quite similar to the one that they had in season number 1, and they're looking for it. All 3 members pressing forward, and they're going to take that second set.
Great coverage by Treddy yet again, and Treddy has just been all over the map despite being this newer face on Core Overflow, this addition that we did not really expect. He has really been on point with all of the follow-ups, all of them, and Timeless Creator now up if wanted. Twin Drive as well, but will deny the build different from Mystic.
Yeah, that's going to make a big difference for Mystic, going to settle for the Stagger Swagger instead. Definitely not what they would hope for the most, but see what else gets picked on up here. Big tempo swing is going to be the selection there for Treddy, getting a little bit of extra healing, and now a little bit of mobility coming on through for Daftgrass's Julie.
Yeah, and now this scaling streak, 10 orb stacks, no matter the drafts, this constant cooldown reduction would just be such a boon for Core Overflow. Those turrets, those cyber swipes forward. Streak could have even stayed there and gotten another orb, but there's the orb back at home as Leo Leon gets KO'd yet again. Daftgrass tries to get the barrier, but Streak clears it backwards, and once again the glitch pops are just too good from Streak.
Yeah, Streak knocking it forward, keeping things cleared out, and has the sentry there for the backup as well with that fully stacked up Orb Ponderer. You just got to believe that that's going to keep on coming out at every single opportunity. And a glitch pop in consolidation with Leo Leon going to pick up a huge KO, make it all 3 of them. The whole team taken off the map as another score comes through for Core Overflow.
Triple KO and the goal. Final set potentially for Core Overflow as they look to close it out here. And what can you do if you're Winterfall? Well, you really have to be the ones that get the KOs here. It is Volatile. It is Juliet Rasmus on Imee Zap, and they almost get Streak, but Streak escapes unharmed, and Daftgrass trying to get the barrier, but just completely strike ward by Leo Leon, and Mystic is the one who is taken low again and again.
As you said there, Saya, it can be so streaky here, but the KOs just keep coming through for Core Overflow. They find themselves another one, and with that numbers advantage, they're going to open up the goal, and they're looking to take themselves a 2-0 lead in set number 4. Moving forward, Death Touch comes out, doesn't find its mark, but another KO from Leo, and it can just slide right in from there. Nobody left to defend from the side of Winterfall.
This damage is piling on. So many cooldowns can be used without fear by Core Overflow because they'll just get them back next orb rotation. And that damage really matters. If Winterfall can't get a surprise KO on the center with Rasmus with Juliet, they will just slowly get overwhelmed. That dash punch failing to do the job, and now Treddy and Leon advancing yet again. They all have flips.
Yeah, and the sentry turret, it just keeps on taking it forward. Leo and Treddy, they're not the only two you could be looking at. Streak is constantly coming in with the assists. And here comes the Flame Flurry from Leo, going to knock Daft Grass incredibly low as it gets knocked back up to Leo. He's got the core flip available, will get denied, but Treddy finishes the job, and Treddy takes it all the way through. That's going to be a 3-1 score line in game number 1, going to Core Overflow.
What a clinical victory. It looked close at the start. Winterfall wasn't pulling their punches, but Core Overflow just completely scaled into the mid-late game and just started overwhelming them.
Definitely, and a huge number of goals there for Treddy. Ends up with 7 at the end of the day. Was always there to make sure to escort that core right into where it needs to go, getting some great plays there off of the Whiplash to change up the directions and get it past Luke. And just not enough responsiveness able to come through out of the Winterfall squad. They had a couple of KOs in some of the earlier rounds. They had a great round number 1, but they just were not able to carry that through the rest of the game. And the damage for Leo Leon, it just dwarfs everyone else in the game.
Yeah, those damage numbers, but more importantly, the KOs when it mattered, right? The early KOs were pretty solid for Winterfall. They got them. But near the end, it was just the damage piling up for Core Overflow. They would get all of the KOs. They would get the ace even, and that would just mean that the goal, everything.
It really did, and ended up with a fantastic showing there by Core Overflow. Looking like they're back to their old ways, back from season number 1, as we look to get into game number 2. You know, we did say Winterfall, this is a team that maybe we expect to scale with time a little bit, but if they want to be able to start off with a win here in NASL Season 2, they're going to have to start scaling real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. But they'll have a chance to do so right here because they can still win the series. No longer best of 2 after all. Still 2 games that they can win here. So we'll see if they can make the changes necessary on potentially a different map as well. But no, it is Imy's app yet again.
Yeah, running back Imy's app. So adaptation time right here, right now, in the heat of the moment for the side of Winterfall. They are going to have to win this game to be able to take it to a game number 3. So if they even want to see a different map today, they are going to have to show a different result here and now. Let's see if they're going to be changing up the composition. I can already see Mystic is hovering the Imy, but maybe they're just going to ban it away. Yeah, they are.
They banned away. They will have to probably play the Rasmus Juliet dance yet again, this time with a different goalie from Streak. But maybe this time will be the difference. Maybe the starting awakenings will be different, or maybe they'll figure out a way. But Octavia is picked.
Wow.
For the side of Core Overflow, and I wonder where that's going. Who that's going on.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We have not gotten to see very much Octavia in this scene at all. And the Zentaro, that one's for Leo Leon. I'll tell you that right now.
Octavia goalie coming out from Streak, having a little bit of fun with it seems. But the question is, will they be able to win with it?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a little bit of whisperings about this one. If you're under a lot of pressure, then, you know, you can get a lot of value out of that flow state, stay in it for a long time. But, yeah, I mean, that's asking a lot here, and they are using that escape button to make sure that they are going to be able to keep on blinking back with all of that additional movement speed. So keep your eyes on what Streak's going to be able to make happen here, but definitely a spicy team composition from Core Overflow for game number 2.
Yeah, and it's showing a little bit, right? The anti-stuff tools are not the greatest on this Octavia goalie, and that barrier goes down early, but Leo Leon looking to make some magic here. And Gordo, I don't know if this Octavia goalie will be the difference maker, but so far, Streak has been a dribbling monster.
Yeah, Streak is so far out here, keeping the flow straight up. And look at him, he can just chase that core all day long. Meanwhile, Leo, a fantastic Zentaro player, want to make sure we cover this and not get too distracted by the Octavia, because this guy's a monster on this pick, and it's going to be a treat to get to see him in this game. As they're stepping forward, Daft finds a huge KO onto the goalie there, and now Leo is going to have to play a little bit of interim goalie, pulled back across by Mystic. Daft looking to smack it in, and sneaks it right past the Zentaro. First goal of game number 2 to Winterfall.
Yeah, and they managed to secure it. It was looking a little shaky there, but they finally get the strike at the perfect angle around the Zentaro, and look at the energy. It is so favorable for Winterfall. If they're going to get a point, it's definitely going to be this one. But as I say that, Leo Leon is just crowding the net. Their health bars drop immediately, and Winterfall sets up a passing. No, they have to defend the passing play, as right now, Core Overflow is just overwhelming.
They are so forward moving, they cannot be stopped, and Streak really just playing like another forward here. Leo keeps on backing up, saying, hey, somebody's got to cover this goal in case we don't actually find it, but never saying die. They keep on stepping forward, and they keep on passing up towards Treddy. Leo now taking a fair bit of damage, going to slash on through, but does get pulled back by the Death Touch. Manages to avoid the KO, though, as Streak re-enters the flow state, keeps it on forward, moves forward with that Sonic Boom. Here comes Leo for the backup, gets the KO off the Oni's blade. Treddy knocks it down to Leo, and one more shot here. There's the core flip from Streak, and he pushes it in for the goal.
So much speed on this Octavia, and that flip into primary just secures the deal there, as Core Overflow trying to say, we're not just mean picking, we'll win too.
Well, they got one goal in the tank at least, so have been able to at the very least move it on up to even. Great play by Luke there with the barrage, knocks away what could have been an opened up goal, but Leo, he's not done yet, and Streak is still up here at midfield, playing even more forward than I've seen him traditionally on the IME, and is just completely looking unstoppable at this point. There's going to be that opened up goal. Streak with the Sonic Boom forward over to Treddy, and a perfect three-man assist. Everybody gets involved, person to person to person, and Core Overflow score again.
Yeah, and that crucial strike will win by Treddy to secure it. Luke not expecting Treddy to win there, as now Mystic's look at Mystic's health bar. The stagger is building up because Leo Leon's pressing all the buttons while Mystic has no elusive, and Streak finishes him off.
Wow, great use there of that base drop. Makes sure that the pressure stays on and that they're going to have that numbers advantage to push forward on towards what could be the set win. Mystic back on the map. Leo can't get it past him. Is going to have it knocked back up towards Streak, just waiting on that cooldown for the flow state. Streak blocks it again. Now waiting again to be able to use this. Treddy actually gets it past Luke, and Luke has to rush to get back to it in time. Leo setting up for a big rush, but can't quite find the option to get on into the goal, and sneaks it past Luke just on the top side. Luke had core flip, Luke had everything, but he wasn't ready for it, and the set win is going to come to Core Overflow.
What a nasty angle too, because even I thought, oh, Luke has this with the strike, but he didn't. And cast to last available for this Octavia. Oh no, Chrono cast.
He's casting and lasting, man. He's casting and lasting. Yeah, there's no way anything else is even being considered on this board.
Yeah, but now a lot of juicy choices available for all the brawlers to tempo swing the bulk up, but definitely not the best in slots. Those will come in a later draft. And huge wins definitely for Core Overflow as they pick up both the cast last on Octavia and the prime time on the Zentaro. Their damage output on their two foes will be ridiculous. The Ego is also incredibly strong right now as well, so just a great draft for them.
Yeah, I agree. The Egoist, you know, on top of just being strong in general, great synergy with the Whiplash there. You just love to have movement speed boosts on your movement speed boosts, and the ability to stack that up there is going to be huge for Treddy, especially when the other kind of enhancements to your energy generation, you can just funnel those towards Treddy for the rest of the game. Streak and Leo, they don't really need those. They're going to go towards others, so a great setup all around, as an early KO is actually found by Winterfall. But they, even now, they cannot even push it back. Streak is just too damn fast. They can't get it past him. They can't even move it towards the right side of the field, and Streak just buys some time. Leo's back on up, and guess what? You accomplish nothing with that KO.
Yeah, now Mystic is almost taken off the field. Treddy and Leo Leon walking up, and Leo Leon catches the clear from Luke, and Streak has free roam, just can dribble across the entire map right now. Daftgrass does have flip, is contesting, but it's completely blocked away by the base drop of Streak, who predicts it, but the core gets passed yet again, and maybe this is Daftgrass's moment. Can an outplay happen? Dribbling away from the Octavia, but cast the last chrono boost is to be feared right now, as the speed almost keeps up all the way, but Treddy clears it to Mystic, and Mystic finds the angle at the bottom of the net. A slight blunder, immediate capitalization by Winterfall.
Yeah, and there was the moment right there where the flow state expires and immediately just smack it down towards the other side of the goal, knowing that Streak cannot get there in time without his ridiculous movement speed. And that does net a goal over to the side of Winterfall, but now control being taken back on over. A big core flip from Leo, gonna get responded to in turn by Luke to keep things cleared out towards Streak, but Streak, he's at it again, throwing down the base drop. The KO has been found onto Leo, though, and as long as Daftgrass can keep finding these, it's opening up windows where Winterfall can continue to play the game and can try to get back ahead in this number 2 as they're moving forward, dashing over to Daftgrass. They open on up. The goal streak is in the flow state, flips it back away and is going to try to knock it out there, gets it on over to Leo, who's now one-on-one up against Luke. Streak has already rushed on down from the bottom side. He is zipping across this map at unbelievable speeds and is now just continuing to stack it up higher and higher. Never seen a striker move this fast.
Yeah, and Daftgrass, though, trying to get the KOs here, but as I say that, so much pressure onto the net as Streak runs all the way back to catch the clear, passes it back. Leon and Treddy in the perfect space, because how do you account for that Octavia, who is fast enough to get the core when it's all the way at the midfield line?
What do you even do when you core flip the core away and knock it over towards the other side and Streak just outruns it, catches up, and throws it back in your face? It's so difficult to navigate around, and they need to find some kind of option to just stop this Octavia from keeping stacked up the whole game. But meanwhile, Leo and Treddy, they can pair up as a duo as though they have a regular old goalie, and they can still outplay you and still find those angles.
Yeah, and this is also a symptom of that Juliet Rasmus, right? Not the two biggest damage building characters. They don't really have that kind of cope, especially the Juliet, compared to something like a Zentaro or maybe even an Estelle or an Aimee. And this lack of damage, Streak is feasting right now, because unless he gets one shot by a dash punch or a hook, he is fine.
Streak is a nut job, dude. He knows exactly where to position for these sonic booms to be really effective. He's just been so very good on this pick. He's got to have poured a fair number of hours into it. He just knows all the angles, and he finds the third goal there with assistance from Leo. A huge core flip to clear out anybody who could be standing in the way, and another set win for Core Overflow, looking even stronger than in the first game.
And this time has the option to pick up Quick Strike or stacks on stacks or anything that his heart desires, but probably one of those two. We'll go for the build different instead. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, the huge denial against the Juliet, but this opens up a slight window for Daftgrass. That stacks on stack speed could make the difference here, especially with keeping up with that Octavia a little bit, threatening with the dash punches and maneuvering around the map with core control.
I support this. What do you even need more movement speed for at this point? You're already going fast enough. The build different, though, is going to make it easier to keep the speed stacked up, and it's going to make abilities like the base drop so much more effective. See how Streak is going to be able to navigate it here on the big Octavia this time. Leo, though, finding an angle to move forward with the rush with the Oni's blade. Can't quite get it in towards past Luke, but now is going to find it there off one more slash. And Streak now just waiting in the wings. Picks it on up, knocks it back over towards Treddy. The pressure is on up, but Daftgrass is falling incredibly low. Just standing here for far too long. Is going to get knocked away. Is going to have to go into the evasive to stay alive. Nice dodge on that death touch. That would have been the end of him, but he's still going to be on the back foot as Treddy goes in for the whiplash, knocks it down towards Leo. Leo ready to receive. Streak now on the backside. Has to defend 1 versus 2. A nice dash forward from Daft and Mystic, and that duo cannot be stopped. They push it in for another goal.
And that's a bit of the weakness of the Octavia, right? So far, Streak has not shown much weakness, but the character does have limits. Not too much anti-stuff when you're jumped on like that with both the primary and the dash punch. And with Daftgrass's fully built up stacks, I was about to say he'll be able to create some offense, but Mystic is taken off the map. Luke has to play proactively, and so far, Winterfall are able to defend.
Great defense coming on across from them here, but Leo again is just sitting there in front of the barrier ready to knock it in at a moment's notice whenever the core comes on across his screen. Moving on down, a nice dash away. Treddy gonna get knocked aside up towards the top side from that core flip, but Leo going to return the damage onto Daft, who's just going to keep using that Flying Phoenix to try to apply pressure towards Streak. There's the flow state, popped once again. Can he keep it up? It is timing out, but does manage to get over and knock it forward. The timer on this is just ridiculous. There's the base drop, finds the KO, core flip forward, knocks it down. Can't get it past Daftgrass, but one more blast will do it, and another goal is scored for Core Overflow.
Yeah, and that primary for the KO. Treddy with the follow-ups, but importantly, Streak's KO on Luke, who if I remember correctly, had full core flip bar. Did not want to use it, but ended up being his death. As once again, core overflower jumping in, and now Leo, Leon, and Treddy look to win the strike wars. But if they don't, Streak is just there to pass it back.
Yeah, again, they just switch gears in an instant here. Sometimes it's all about Streak and he's keeping on the pressure. Sometimes it's just Treddy and Leon playing way more traditionally, knocking them aside and buying the angle for Leo to rush forward and push it in off of 2 staggers. Another great play by Core Overflow. They're now 1 goal away from ending it.
Just 1 goal away, and Treddy has flipped. Streak has those cooldowns right now. Clears it away from the dash punch. Uses the primary to get it past Daftgrass. And so far, Streak's clears have been immaculate, but a great Giga Blast by Luke will take the barrier first.
Treddy and Leo just playing up 2 versus 1. Mystic doing a good job of keeping it in their face, though, not getting outplayed in that situation. A kill attempt from Daftgrass doesn't quite find its mark, and Treddy actually doesn't land the death touch, gets past Streak, and Daftgrass got to take us to 2-2. Winterfall have a shot here.
Yeah, especially if the core finds itself on the wrong side of that Octavia special. it kind of just slips through. Streak with the own goal, but if you're Winterfall, this is your chance. We take those.
Stepping forward, Leo with the rush, or with the slice rather, does manage to find it. Looking to find a clever angle in for this goal. A core flip comes through from Luke. Streak keeping on up the flow state. Mystic flips it back, clears it out, but Daftgrass now ready to receive on the top side. Leo very close to getting taken out, but managed to save himself. Core flips it back down. Streak stacking up the movement speed, knocked up towards the top side. Treddy ready to receive, and it slips past Luke again. 3-2 in the final set. Core Overflow with a 2-0 win in the first match of the NASL.
Decisive 2-0 for Core Overflow as they take the victory here with the Octavia goalie as well. And they pick it at the right moment, it seems like, into the right comp, on the right map, and with the right player. Streak, MVP for a reason. Even the game itself knows it.
And that might have been in your list there, but with the right awakening too as well, right? Having everybody being able to just keep that uptime so much longer makes up so much of a difference, makes that flow state so much more powerful, and really opens up Streak to just have a monster of a game.
Yeah, and wow, just I did not expect Octavia goalie for the second match, but here it is, and here it is winning.
Winning decisively too. I mean, the analyst test is going to have a whole bunch to talk about on this one, because this is a pick that really wasn't even particularly on our radar, and now is just looking like it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Streak, other teams are going to have to watch this and really think about it, especially if they start to see, you know, one of those mobility-focused awakenings on the starting awakenings. Like, hey man, Streak might go for Octavia here. What do we do about that?
Yeah, it's so scary, especially because this is the type of comp that teams will like to play on a map like Imy's app, right? That Rasmus, Juliet, those 2 power picks on this map. But Streak finds the hole, but finds a spot to pick Octavia and realizes, oh, they're not KOing me. They're not really going to put that much pressure on me unless, like, I just get damaged. It'll just really end up being whether I can avoid those one-hit KO combos, the hook, the dash punch. So really just picks it in the right spot, plays it well. We see a bit of an own goal there, but that's like the only question mark in an otherwise completely dominant game.
Yeah, no, I mean, a great showing there for Core Overflow, looking like they are back to their form from the regular season back in Season 1, and hoping to be able to carry that through the whole season into the playoffs this time around. A great start here with our newly integrated East and West League. They are looking like they could be one of the top teams. Of course, having only played against one opponent so far, but a rough showing for old Mystic and Daftgrass here from the desk for sure, but plenty of season left for them to adapt with their new player and come back stronger.
Yeah, plenty.